Hey, welcome to video 2 of Mercury IT Cybersecurity Roadmap. If you've not gone and had a look at video 1, pop back, go and have a look at that first. So it covers off level 1. And this video will go into the level 2. So as a quick overview again, we have 3 levels that we work through. So level 1, going through the technology assessment, tightening up the basics, and then our defense in depth, which is most of those technology areas. We now move into level 2, so building out cybersecurity awareness among staff, looking at implementing a framework that's right for your business, deploying those policies and procedures, and then finally moving up into establishing a cybersecurity operations center, doing regular testing, and then compliance and reporting. So for video 2, we're looking at level 2. So this is where our policies are more defined. So looking at our people, process, and technology, our people, we essentially have some roles defined and responsibilities established. The process has, our processes are in place. So we've got some of them in place, generally not checked, but certainly in place. And then we've got more controls documented around the technology that we've got implemented. Now, some of the areas that you need to look at when implementing this for your organization is the first piece is building up that awareness. Now, this is around staff education. Now, in our experience, when you do this, it has to start at the top of the organization. So approaching those stakeholders, generally the board members or owners of the business, and making sure they're on board with the cybersecurity awareness training rollout. If they're not, it's generally going to fail. So some time needs to be spent there and making sure that they are on board. Whatever platform you use to deliver that training, make sure that it's easily digestible. It's available on multiple platforms, different delivery mechanisms, whether it's video, games, posters. Make sure you've got phishing simulation in there as well. And then very importantly, make sure you've got reporting as well, so that you can go back to the board and stakeholders and actually show progress over time. As some of the pics I've got here is just off a platform we use. So it's actually showing our risk history over a period of time as more training gets done and we get better at detecting phishing simulations, our risk factors come down. Some of the other areas that we can look at is security awareness proficiency amongst staff. And this can actually give you an indication of what areas you actually need to focus on. So you do more video training for those particular areas. Once we've got that in place, you can also start to look at a framework. Now, the framework's got to be right for your business, and there's a few ways of doing this. Australia have got the Essential 8, and there's a number of other controls, and it depends what industries you're in, whether you want to look at that. Something that's a little bit more open, if you like, is the NIST Cybersecurity Framework. So you could just Google that. That's got 108 controls, which are relatively easily followed and understood. There's no particular prescription of what to do, but it gives you an idea of what to go and look at to get better at that. The other one is looking at the ISO 27001 if you want to go down the full audit route. Personally, and with Mercury IT, we tend to use the NIST Cybersecurity Framework because it's open. So we'll do a full assessment report across those 108 controls and actually look at which areas are weak within the organization, and we'll attack those areas first. So we can actually prioritize where the work gets done and then start looking at those areas as individual projects, whether that's more work needs to be done around governance, or more work needs to be done around continuous monitoring and assessment. Finally, what we move into is generally out of that NIST assessment, there will be some policies and procedures that need to go in place. One of them would be the notifiable data breach, which is quite important for Australian businesses. But there will be other policies that come out of that. Very, very importantly, you need to look at how these are distributed to staff so that they are made aware of it. And it's not a case of, well, the policy existed. Now, a lot of the training programs, the cybersecurity awareness platforms can actually distribute those policies as well. So that's a good way of actually tying that all up. In our next video, we'll look at level 3, maturity. So we start to look at setting up a cybersecurity operations center. And I'll see you on that video.